Right. Let's talk about the Big Bang. We're going to dig into an argument today that doesn't just poke holes in the theory, it tries to tear out the very first page of the story. We're about to question whether the Big Bang is really an origin story at all.
This quote right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. The idea is really simple. A true beginning has to start at level 1, right? But the standard story of our universe? Well, it kind of feels like we're starting the game at the final boss battle. Let's break down what that actually means. Okay, so the first big idea we have to tackle is what the source calls the universe's preload. And look, let's be clear, the Big Bang model is the foundation of cosmology for a reason. There are mountains of evidence for it. But this argument isn't really about the evidence, it's about the starting line. It claims the Big Bang doesn't actually describe an origin from nothing, but a process that starts with the game already loaded up.
This slide really just draws a line in the sand. On the left, you've got a real origin, starting from scratch, from zero. And on the right, you have a preload. You know, like opening a saved game file where all the characters and all the rules are already there. The main claim here is that the Big Bang is a preload.
So what's in this cosmic saved game file? Basically, everything. The standard model just kicks off assuming a super hot, super dense state that already has all the matter and energy, a perfectly ordered state so time can even move forward, and all the laws of physics working just right from the get-go.
So here's the bottom line. If you start with all the ingredients, all the rules, and all the energy already in the box, you haven't explained where the box came from. See? That's not an origin story. That's a preload.
Okay, now we're going to get into something a little more fundamental, a bit more mind-bending. The argument uses this really cool metaphor to ask a simple question. Can a universe that nobody sees even be considered real? The idea is that for something to truly exist, maybe a physical process isn't enough on its own.
And here's the perfect analogy for it. Imagine your computer renders the most beautiful, complex image you can possibly imagine, but you never hit save. It never gets written to the hard drive, and it's instantly wiped from the computer's memory. Is there any real difference between that and the image never having been created at all?
Now, let's apply that same logic to the universe. Picture it. All its particles pop into existence in perfect detail for just a fraction of a second. But if nothing's there to see it, to save it, it's just gone, dumped from the cosmic memory. For all we know, it might as well have never happened.
This phrase just nails it. An unwitnessed physical event is just process without persistence. It's like the universe is running a program that never creates an output file. There's no trace, no record, no reality.
So if the universe needs a save button to become real, what is it? Well, this next section proposes an answer, and it's a big one. It suggests consciousness isn't some accident at the end of the story, but something that was necessary from the very beginning.
So here's the idea. The save function isn't some mystical, weird thing. It's the simple act of a witness, any witness, noticing that something happened. That one little act of observation is what supposedly takes the abstract math of physics and commits it to the hard drive of reality. And this quote, this gets right to the heart of it. The argument is that the witness isn't just a passive observer watching a movie. No, the witness is the mechanism that makes reality real. Consciousness itself is the write-to-disk command for the entire cosmos. Without it, the universe is just an unsaved image, forever. Okay, let's bring this all back to the Big Bang. The accusation here is that the standard model, well, it just kind of assumes the save function was running from the very start. It assumes the universe was already real, already being recorded, without ever explaining what was doing the recording. It smuggles the witness in through the back door without telling anyone.
So, if the standard model has this huge hole in it, what's the alternative? Let's take a look at the proposed framework. It's called ERM, and it tries to build a universe from the ground up, starting with the one thing it claims is absolutely necessary.
ERM stands for Eternal Recursive Manifestation. But don't worry about the name. What really matters is where it starts. It doesn't start with a hot, dense state. It starts with a rule, a logical axiom. To be is to be noticed. It says that for anything to exist, it has to be registered. The save function, the witness, isn't an afterthought. It's the absolute starting point.
This table really lays out the difference, doesn't it? The Big Bang model starts preloaded. It just assumes reality was already saved, kind of like a movie playing to an empty theater. But the ERM model, it starts with the idea that you need a witness. In that view, the universe is whatever gets saved when awareness hits the record button. No witness, no universe. Simple as that.
And that leads to this final, powerful claim. ERM earns the universe. It doesn't just assume a universe into existence at level 100. It tries to build it from the ground up, starting with the logical need for a witness, for a save function, to turn what's possible into what's real.
So we're left with this really provocative question, aren't we? Is the cosmos just a film that plays, whether or not anyone's watching? Or is the very act of watching, is your awareness right now the thing that hits record and makes this whole show real in the first place? Definitely something to think about.